It didn't count anything off, so you tell me if we're on.
It just went up. It just popped up.
We good?
Yep.
All right. Well, folks, we're gonna hold in here for a little bit just to make sure everyone can come on board since we're starting a little early. With this weather, we had to cancel a meeting in Oklahoma City, so I'm bringing it to you from a secured bunker in southeast Logan County. So that's where the show is coming from tonight. What'd you say, Kendall? Are you not listening to me, Kendall?
Like I said.
Okay. Now, like we normally do, I want you guys to go that are watching this Facebook Live. I want you to type in from what city or town or parking lot or wherever it is you're at the moment to let us know where you're from. And also, we're going to try to take some questions. We've got Kendall on the phone live to relay your questions to me. And we're going to go over gun bills and stuff that's taken place so far this week and this session too. How are we looking, Kendall? Anybody paying attention yet?
On.
We're still a little early though.
Yeah. We'll tell a few jokes.
A few jokes? Yeah. It sounds like I can hear my voice. The delay's only about 2 seconds. That's good. Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the show. We are at 6:30. Today was a really good day for the Oklahoma Second Amendment Association and also for liberty-loving people. There were 3 bills passed out of Rules Committee today alone. Even with the weather and stuff, things were still taking place at the state capitol, which is very good. A lot of times, everything can be going smooth, and all of a sudden you've got a bad weather day, and it can just set everything off and kill bills and kill committees because of just people can't be there. So we're still very fortunate to have this moving forward. Today what was passed, House Bill 2625 by State Representative Kevin West. And man, this guy's done a great bang-up job for us. I'm really proud of this guy. The first bill he passed today was, like I say, was in the Rules Committee. And it's changing just a small mistake that should have never been allowed in the law. But it says a police officer, retired officer, can carry a gun on them anywhere. Well, that would include your living room or your car or somewhere or a business that may not want a person there. So this language changes it to throughout the state. So it makes sure that the private property owner still has control of their own private property unless the officer has a warrant or a probable cause to enter such a property. So that's what that's fixing. It didn't, in fact, I think it went through 11-0. That was very good. Also, Representative West passed today House Bill 2626, which raises the burden of proof that a DA must have before he can try to convict you of a crime or of carrying with a firearm. We've had so many of these situations come up, like our buddy John McCullough out in Midwest City. Here's a guy that's wife's getting beat up in his own front yard, and he's a 100% disabled American vet. He goes out in the front yard carrying a gun, and the 3 perpetrators, he points the gun at them, tells them to leave. Next thing he knows, Mr. McCullough is spending 17 days in jail for defending his own wife in his own front yard. We have another deal where a lady named Bessie Pfeiffer, I think she's like 72, grandmother. There were some ewes out in her yard. She told them to leave. She is then later arrested for felony pointing. The only problem was she never had a gun. So this is raising the burden of proof before a prosecutor can hopefully bring you to a courtroom to bring the charges against you. So we can keep some of this frivolous stuff from really getting good people caught up in it. Another bill today passed today. I want to thank State Representative and the floor leader John Eccles. He passed car carry today out of this Rules Committee. I think it went through 11-0, which is great. What this bill does, and right now it's currently set that a person that's at least 25 years of age, and that's right, I said 25 years of age, would be able to carry a loaded handgun in their vehicle while traveling or parked or for whatever reason. This is a smaller bill, scaled down bill than what we had last year. But also, like I said, we wanted to get out of committee and get it moving, and today that took place, which is really, really good and very impressive. So we got anyone asking questions yet there, Kendall? Nobody's signing on yet? Okay.
Sign on, no questions.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm going to keep going. Now, last week, House Bill 2593 was passed oh, I'm sorry. House Bill 2593, that's going to be heard tomorrow in the Public Safety Committee. That is constitutional carry. Folks, so if whatever the weather is, get up to State Capitol. The meeting is going to be in the Public Safety room, which will be 412C at 3 p.m. You need to be there by 1 so you can make sure you get a seat. I want people up there to show the support for this. We think we're pretty sure we've got the votes, but it's still, call your legislators. We've got it posted on our Facebook page for you who to call on the Public Safety Committee to let them know that you want this bill in and you want these rights back that should have never, quite frankly, been taken away. Again, that will be tomorrow in the Public Safety Committee. Constitutional carry. So you guys that have been hollering for constitutional carry, figure out a way to get up there, figure out a way to make phone calls, figure out a way to send emails, but get it done, all right? Also to be heard on Thursday of this week. And this is total of 6 bills being heard that have all been requested by OK2A. Also in the public safety, and that'll be Senate Public Safety, and this will be on Thursday morning. Senate Bill 1226 by Senator Burkeen. This bill is a fantastic bill. It will lower the SDA fees down and repeal the fingerprinting requirement, which right now is the biggest hassle for so many people. It's crazy. You can go in and buy a gun without giving up a fingerprint. You should be able to carry that gun. And that's the motive in our efforts behind OK2A in this bill, is that because basically we get constitutional carry, this will be a reciprocity license. Like say when you go into Texas, you're still going to need a license to carry a handgun. And so this is what that's going to be for. Also in some of the other states, New Mexico, Colorado, and across the country. And also if we get national reciprocity bill passed by the president signs it into law, you'll want a reciprocity card. And what's so good about this, it takes 4 years, but at the end of 4 years, the price will be dropped down to $25. So it'll still be $100 in 2018. It'll drop to $75 in 2019. It'll drop to $50 in 2020. And in 2021, it'll drop to $25. Also, the great part about this bill, which might look like a inconvenience at first, but it drops the license to 5 years. And then people say, well, why are we cutting it to 5 years when we got it at 10? Well, it's because of the federal law that says if you're on a NICS background check, which is what this system will switch over to, and it's on a 5-year license, that license is your, when you go in to make a purchase, that is your form. The seller will literally write your number down, and then you're out the door. There's no other further background check because that is your background check. And for $25, who wouldn't get that just to speed things up at a gun show or any vendor you buy from, a firearm just to get out the door. And also the vendors, you vendors pay attention. You want this bill because the fact it's going to make it so convenient for you. It's going to speed things up. It's going to stop those waits that have taken. Is it back up? I'm going to act like it's back up.
No, it's not back up. Wait.
Yeah. Over there? Because it looked like it came back up.
Yeah, you're up.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption, folks. Somehow I got a phone call during that. Okay, where did I leave off, Kendall? Public safety. Public safety we've got going on. That, like I said, that is lowers the SDA fees eventually down to $25. Also, out-of-state residents will be able to acquire a license through Oklahoma, which will be hopefully a source of income for the OSBI for that. And like I said, we've got this thing down. It takes the sheriffs completely out of the picture. You'll basically be able to go online with the OSBI. You'll be able to send your information into them and have your card mailed back to you. There'll also I think there's 7 OSBIs you can literally go and drop the information off at one of the offices too. We're trying to get this so convenient that just everyone will do it. Therefore, even though the price is dropping, the volume will come up. And also what's going on in this, people don't realize that the bill the current way that your license is procured goes through an FBI and fingerprint background check. Well, that costs $41. So that $100 that you're spending, $41 goes to the federal government. Well, I don't know about you, that money is going to stay here in the state till at least they can get the software and update the technology, and then the price will continue to drop. So basically, from being $28 to process a license, it's dropping down to under $9 a license, and also they should be able to turn them around within a week instead of 60 days. We left it at 60 days so the OSBI would have time to get a feel for what's changing and get it going. But as we see, there's no excuse why these most people that go through and it's an okay should just go right on through, and they should have it back within a week. So that's what that's working on. Also, Senate Bill 1307 by Senator Silk is going to be heard Thursday in the Public Safety Committee. This is a bill that we worked, basically it's an advancement from last year. It's so employees of the courthouse can carry into the courthouse in which they work. I've gone over several times before, but some courthouse employees are carrying large sums of money, and not all courthouses have deputies ready available for security. And it's a reasonable question that a person I was asked that if they could just literally defend themselves going to and from the courthouse. I thought that's extremely reasonable, and so that's what we're working on with that bill with Senator Sykes on 1307. Also, like I say, folks, I want you to type in where you're watching from, what the weather's like outside. I don't care. Type in some comments, and we'll just keep going here because we're going to try to take some questions. And like I said, that was 6 bills that are going to be heard this week, and 3 of them have already passed for OK2A. Now let's go back to last week, what took place last week. House Bill 2632, which was in the House Judiciary Committee, and it's the Places of Worship bill by Representative Babinek. And let me tell you something, guys. Representative Babinek earned our Freshman of the Year award last year, and he has not let off from that. This guy is just picking up and getting right on with it. This bill is designed to increase the immunity for a church so it is not sued out of existence for a self-defense act. Now, what happened also, our good friends from the mid-size city coalition sent a torpedo email out to all the committee members trying to kill this bill. That's right. The mid-size does not want the church to be able to have absolute immunity. That's basically what it comes down to. And in that group, remember, it's the Oklahoma Highway Patrol, the Oklahoma Game Wardens Association, and the OSBI, OU, OSU, all were listed on this torpedo bill. Now, Representative Babinek, not one guy to take things laying down too easy, he starts making phone calls. And the first 12 people he talks to on this list said, "No, we have no idea, nothing about the bill. We don't have any say so. We don't care. We're not worried about it." Which leads us to believe that the mid-sized coalition has just basically been lying all along, saying that all these people support this stuff, and they don't. So, but the problem is none of these groups will take their name off the coalition. So they're still endorsing it, even though they may indirectly not be working, trying to destroy a bill. They still are because their name's on it, and they need to have their names pulled off of this. And that is an ongoing problem. And we'll keep you informed because I'm sure we'll get an email out from the mid-sized coalition pretty fast for tomorrow's bill on constitutional carry, because they do not want that to happen. And I'm sure the Oklahoma Highway Patrol will be right in there and will absolutely support that decision for that not to happen. So we'll see how that turns out. Let's see. House Bill 2527 by State Representative Cleveland. He's also the chair of the Public Safety Committee where he heard this bill. Representative Cleveland was our Legislator of the Year last year, and he's picked right up and is keeping going with that. This bill he's carrying is for employees of a courthouse would be able to carry, and it's worded a little different than the other bill I just talked about. This one lets the decision come down to the county commissioners to approve what persons can and cannot carry into the courthouse. So it's worded a little bit different, but it's gone on through and it's got out, and we really appreciate Representative Cleveland for doing such a fine job of getting that out. Let's see, Senate Bill 910 by Senator Dom. This bill clarifies language that if you're out scouting, hunting, or fishing, it's perfectly legal for you to have your sidearm on for self-defense. Obviously, that doesn't mean you can hunt with that sidearm. It just means you can have it for self-defense. And so we want to clarify that in law. Also, Senate Bill 1212 by Senator Dom passed out of committee also, and it states that that on wildlife management areas, that the same thing, that a person can carry a firearm for self-defense, because on some of the postings and even in the even on the statutes says that firearms are allowed in that area. So this is clarifying that. Obviously, they don't want hunting firearms, and we understand that. But we're clarifying that no matter what, whether you're hunting or not, you can carry a handgun for self-defense under the Self-Defense Act, and this language cleans that up. That's what that's for. Also passed last week, Senate Bill 1158 by Senator Scott. This is the felon passenger bill. This is the bill that if a felon is riding in a vehicle with a person that is in legal possession of a firearm, say with an SDA license, and they've got their gun on them, that felon does not go back to jail for being in that vehicle. Because under current law, it simply states that if a felon is in the vehicle with the person that's got a gun, the felon goes back to prison, up to 10 years. And basically, I hate to say it like this, but felons may need a break, and sometimes they find themselves in some bad spots. They don't need to be in that bad spot by complete accident. We've got a number of pastors who are members of the OK2A will tell you there's times they go pick people up and bring them to church, and they're carrying their gun, and they don't want that felon to go to jail for 10 years just because the pastor gets pulled over for a traffic violation, and then the officer discovers that there's a felon in the car and the person has a firearm, legally has a firearm. This does not, I'm going to clarify, it does not make a felon legal to have a possession of a firearm. It does not do that. So basically, if the person who has the SDA license is outside the car and has a gun, it's perfectly legal with the felon, and so it'll be legal once they get inside the car. So that's the objective of that bill. Also, Senate Bill 957, Places of Worship by Senator Bergstrom and Representative Josh West. This bill is the same as I described earlier, the place of worship bill. It's going to be amended, just like the other bill is, to tweak some language, because on the definition we're trying to get it right, and also the clarification that a church or a business or whomever can still control weapons on their property, because they want to make sure that that doesn't take that right away from them. I got no problem with it. That was never our intention. So we're going to clarify that too. And like I said, that was by Senator Bergstrom, Freshman of the Year award winner. It's amazing how these guys keep showing back up and keep doing the right things, isn't it? So anyway, that's the bills that we've gotten done last week and this week, and we've got more that'll be coming up next week, so stay posted here. Also, I want to go over briefly the school shooting in Florida last week. Oklahoma, in 2015, put a law into effect that if a school board authorizes, teachers can carry provided they meet the right requirements. And the requirements are they basically have to become a licensed armed security officer or already a CLEAT certified commissioned officer. So we're looking at ways to even make that more attractive so more persons can carry in a classroom. Obviously, this would be teachers, not students. That's what we're working on. With the event that went on last week, folks, I'm going to tell you straight up, the only way you stop evil is with brute force. When these crazies have pressure put on them, most of them have been putting a bullet through their own head. So there needs to be pressure on them. It's really too bad, and I don't know for sure, but there was a guard that was there, and it sounded like he was unarmed, which I don't know what that means. An unarmed guard is not working very well, which obviously is what we saw happen in Florida. It's really sad to see our tax dollars for so long place a mentality that the NRA is the problem, when what these students need to be doing is aligning with the NRA, to work with the NRA to make sure that there are healthy people in possession of firearms, for one, which would include teachers in those classrooms up and down that building. And again, put the pressure on to stop someone that's just out to strike absolute evil in a situation like this. And why is it that the rest of us need to be punished? Because the FBI, it looks like, pretty much dropped the ball. Dropped the ball on this when there was just so many warning signs out there. So we can lay a lot of blame, but I'm telling you, folks, it does not belong on the NRA. Not at all. Not at all. And I support the NRA and their decision on this, on how they've supported it, too. Okay, what else did we have, Kendall? Did I wake you up?
No, I was just here listening.
Any questions come up through so far? Any questions on these bills, folks?
We've got a few questions.
Okay, give me a question.
About our Invite Your Friends Strength the Numbers campaign. We've had in the past month over 2,200 people come into the group.
Okay, in the past month, we've had 2,200 people join into our discussion group. Folks, that's phenomenal. I think it's over 1,000 in the last week alone. Yep. So, strength through numbers is what Kendall lives by, and he's absolutely right. We keep these numbers growing. And that's what it's going to take to get constitutional carry pushed through. And folks, we've still got a long ways to go. We're just getting it heard tomorrow, which is a good improvement, but it's still going to be a tough deal. Don't take any of this for granted. Moms Demand Action are going to be in that room, and they're going to try to fill it up. And we need to be there and show our strength too. That's what needs to happen. So again, I appreciate so much the effort to grow this group. You got friends, invite them in. And we've been acknowledging people and how good a job you're doing. And like I say, this thing is snowballing, and it's a healthy growth. But like I say, 2,200 people grown that thing in the last month. Let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. And that's the OK2A discussion group. Also, you'll notice too, you can find out what you need to know in a hurry, because either myself or several other people that are quite knowledgeable will give you legitimate answers and exactly quote the statute where the answer comes from. It doesn't get much better than that. And also, I'm going to tell you, we're going to make a conscious effort. There's been a few trolls that show up on it, and we're bumping those out, folks, that they're just there to just stir problems. We're cleaning them out, because I want you to feel like you can ask us a question and not get barked at or be called stupid or something like that. Yes, there are stupid questions, but the stupid question may still keep you out of jail, so you need to ask it. All right? That's how that goes. All right, what else you got there, Kendall?
Got a lighthearted question from Joe Kelly. Wants to know how he can get a shirt like Don.
Joe, all you have to do is join at the $1,000 level, and it'll look just like this. We're trying to set up where you can go in and order a shirt customized, because it's just, there's no way I can house and keep a bunch of shirts and t-shirts, but we're trying to set up where you can go in and customize, order a shirt, order it, and get it to your own house without having to involve OK2A and keeping track of that. So that's one of the things we're working on. But Joe, in all fairness, it won't be till summer we have it nailed out, because I got real battles I'm trying to do right now. I think if you don't have a hat, you should have one. But anyway, we've got some more hats we will order, because hats tend to fit everybody. Because I'd like for people to show up at the Capitol. The hat. Also, I've also thinking about getting just a basic OK2A button, so we can hand them to people as they walk in the Capitol. They're cheap. Also, everyone will know where you're at. They don't make you take it off while you're in a committee meeting, like they do a hat or anything like that. And you can walk back out with it. So that's one of our objectives too. But again, give me time. Right now we got 34 bills, and obviously we are making stuff move and trying to get this stuff moved on out of here. So appreciate that, Joe. That's a good deal. Yeah, as I say, Joe, just $1,000, Joe. That's all you need, just $1,000.
And Mr. James Miller wants to know if you're coming to the Tulsa meeting this week.
James Miller, the Tulsa meeting. I was not planning on it because I've got a deal Friday morning I've got to be at, and also Fridays I've got so much to clean up on legislation, answering questions for legislators. It looked like Wayne had several guests and had plenty going on, and also Wayne will be updated, and I'll make sure, James, you have this too. I'll give you the latest update on the bills that's going on that day, this week, and the cleanup for the week. So that's a definite. I'm not sure. Okay, James. I thought he'd ask a tough question. Which, by the way, James Miller is one of our guys. If he answers your question on Facebook, he's doing a pretty darn good job, James. I'm just about ready to give you a promotion and double your pay for what that's worth. But James has done real well. Like I say, anytime someone can go in and answer a question with the statute, that is absolutely the best way to handle it, because you read for yourself. And I try to write these bills on literally an 8th grade level, so anyone can look at it and go, yeah, that makes sense, or no, yes I can, or no I can't. Just so it's really pretty cut and dry. They may seem redundant, but that's what serves that purpose, to make sure it's like that. So James Miller, I appreciate your support on that, and also all your help with OK2A. Rockstar.
All right, another one?
Yeah.
Jim Devers, who is a OU student, is asking, do we have the votes to get the campus carry bill through the Senate? I feel like a sitting duck at OU.
James, you are a sitting duck. Was it James Deaver?
Jim Devers.
Jim Deaver. Jim, you are a sitting duck. That's correct. And the president of the university is content with you being a sitting duck. In fact, he's probably content with you having being shot or beaten or whatever, as opposed to you explaining to a police officer how that perpetrator got a fatal bullet hole through his head. Jim, is there a chance of getting it through the Senate? Lightning does strike. We are pushing it. It's introduced. I don't know if it's going to be heard. So we're going to try to pick up the ground that we can. But Jim, here's what we need you to do. One student ain't enough. You got to get your buddies. You got to get some people that will get out and get vocal about this. And don't tell me that, well, they can make my classes hard. They can make my life miserable. Yes, Jim, they'll do that. But what's your liberty worth? What's your life worth? You're sitting here asking us, if it's going to happen. I need you to get involved too. I need you to get all your buddies in there. We'll do this. I've got a guy that will scholarship every one of you to be a member. He'll pay your membership. In fact, I think he told me he would buy 10 of them. So you get 9 of your buddies, and we'll make sure that they become members, and we'll help keep them informed and what's going on with this. And yeah, Jim, like I said, yeah, you're a sitting duck. That's exactly right. Welcome to Oklahoma. What else you got here, Kendall? Anything?
Somebody may have come in a little bit later, but they wanted to reiterate where tomorrow to meet at the Capitol.
Okay, very good. The 4th floor, there's the rotunda. That's the big round area which is between the House and the Senate. On the south side is room 412C. And you'll find it. It's by the elevators there. And that's where the meeting room will be. And the meeting is at 3 o'clock. But I'm telling you, you need to be there at 1 to go by and talk to your legislator and say, hey, I want you to support Second Amendment bills, and specifically constitutional carry. And then make your way over to the committee room. And that's what's going on with that. So, yeah, be there. If you show up at 3 o'clock, you're not going to get in the room. It's not going to happen. So, but you'll come out and tell you what happened. It will. I think it's at the very end of all the bills that are being presented. So, and I'm sure it will take time to get the bill through. So it will be a while. Representative Cootie, very competent man. He's dealt with this for 3 years. He's pushed it in one form or another. I'm glad he's handling it again this year. And he's even asked the Speaker of the House to be standby in case we need his vote to get the vote out of committee. So that's how well OK2A is working to make sure we can get this bill out. How's that sound? And we want you there, folks. I mean, take the day off work, do what you got to do, but we need to pack that room to show your support. Because if these legislators, especially ones that don't support it, say, well, there's no one here in support of it, why should we vote for this? It works like that. That's exactly how it works. And I know it's not convenient. You don't have taxpayer money to come up there to do this. But folks, what is your liberty worth? There it is. Anything else, Kendall?
Still for them to make a phone call to those committee members.
Yeah, make at least a phone call to the committee members on the committee and tell them support. They still need to hear that up till it's 3 o'clock. Is exactly right.
Another one here. Bev wants to know if she can carry in the courthouse. I mean, the Capitol.
Not yet. I'm working on it. So, Bev, I like your attitude. I've always liked your attitude, though, Bev. So that's pretty easy. Not yet. You can carry a knife, which is what I do, but you will not be able to carry a firearm into the state capitol. No, not yet.
I know you still have a little time.
Sure.
So one individual asked about the recap on the bills that became law November 1.
Okay. Let's see. What would be? Let's start with felony pointing. Felony pointing. If you are approached by a person or more than a person, and you're convinced they're going to harm or kill you, and you pull your weapon out and point at them for the act of self-defense, it shall not be a felony anymore. It used to be, and there were a lot of charges on it. That's one of them. Bus carry, the repeal of a felony. Now you can get on a public bus or a private bus with your firearm, legally carried firearm. That was repealed. Also, if you're military and you have a military ID or reserve, that is your weapons license to carry in the state of Oklahoma. So you can carry a handgun under that with that. Also, the definition of a pistol was updated and clarified, which includes now the barrel has to just be under 16 inches for a pistol. Let's see, what else was there, Kendall? Gee, there are so many, it's hard to keep track. There was one more that we had. I'm blank. Oh, it was so an elected official could carry him to a courthouse. That led the groundwork so the employees could carry him to the courthouse. So that's what we're working on for this year. Like I say, folks, I'm going to bring this up now. Incrementalism. Don't get upset because we're not throwing the Hail Mary pass and get everything. If you go for everything, you get nothing. It's these little steps. That's why OK2A has been so successful for these years. We've been doing this. So just hang in there with us. There's been people say, well, why can't I carry into a courthouse? And I had one guy actually kind of get snotty and say, well, when are you going to get it where I can carry in the courthouse? I said, well, you can carry in the courthouse as soon as you get a job there. That's how this is going to work. I said, but keep in mind, in 2015, OK2A worked with Representative Cootie to pass a bill so teachers could carry in a classroom. That doesn't apply to you. At least not yet, but it doesn't apply to you. So there are special people in special circumstances that we need to make sure that right is secured to, that may not be to everyone. Because Judge Anthony Scalia, he kind of messed us up a little bit in the Heller decision because he said that there were still some public buildings that would have to be protected. And a courtroom, and courthouse would be one of them, and education areas would be another. So that's how that works on that. What else you got, Kendall?
Oh,
am I forgetting anything?
Just to reiterate, I think there's some new people that
kicking on
about strength and numbers. Just
right.
Our voters and legislators listen to voters.
Right, and like I say, it's really good to see this tidal wave of growth in this group. And it can't let up, guys. If you think, we're doing great now, we can coast. No, you can't coast, because today President Trump announced he's going to go for the ban on bump stocks. That's crazy. That's a Republican president in with a Republican Senate, in with a Republican House. And you're losing your gun rights with that. You cannot let up. It cannot let up at the federal level, and especially here at the state level. So, and I think the bump stock repeal or prohibition is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. So anyway, yes, sir.
Somebody was asking about the phone numbers for the legislators in the committee to call. Remind them that will be after this meeting. That will be pinned at the top of both pages with that list under the constitutional carry.
Excellent. Just like Kendall said, we'll make sure you have the committee's phone numbers and email addresses right there at the top. As soon as we put this up on Facebook, or what do we repost it? We post it. All the names and numbers will be up there. So you can start calling tonight, leave messages. Call during the day, leave messages, and also talk to them. But let's make one thing perfectly clear. You talk to a legislative assistant or the legislator. You be absolutely polite. There is no way at any point, at any time, I'm going to tell you to be rude to a legislator. Now, being persistent, that's one thing, but be polite the whole time. And like I say, if you want to make sure your words get to the legislator, don't even think about pissing off their assistant, because you'll just be killing yourself and you're killing our cause. Because I don't want to go up there and hear, oh, you got people up here calling that are rude and blah blah blah, because I have heard that, and they may not have been our people in our group, but it falls back on us. And if you've never ever hear of me speaking to a legislator like that, so therefore I don't expect you to do anything less than that. Be absolutely polite every time. In your emails, keep it to just one small paragraph. Please, and put it in the subject line. Please support House Bill 2951. Vote yes. You put that in the subject line, and that's usually good enough. Because they'll go through and read the subject lines. The LA will do a little checklist on who's voting what and how, just so they can see the support on it. So that's one of that. But like I say, be polite. Politeness will get you a whole lot farther. Even if they don't vote for you yes on this bill, it may help you down the road. So that's how that works. Anybody? So Bev, is Bev still awake, or is she watching the Olympics already?
Well,
Bev, are you watching the Olympics? You've turned away and you're watching the Olympics already, right? Okay. Yeah, all right. So anyway, but I tell you, this is working out well. We had a feeling that there would be some weather events like this that would come up, and I'm glad we have Facebook Live that we can do this with, so we can get the word out to you. What else you got, Kendall? Anything?
For the people who see that those legislative announcements, to share them on their page. Share this information. The information's got to get out. Share it on their own pages with their friends.
That's right. Whenever we put something out, share it away. And also, you see someone else share it, go in there and like it that you saw it, because they'll know it's being recognized. That's pretty important to do too. But yeah, shares to an observer are more scary than just seeing how many likes are on a page, because that's an activity that they've moved it, and then when it gets moved to, especially if you share it to a person that's got 1,000 friends, and then those tentacles just go off, and it's fantastic how much we can spread the information like that. And like I say, folks, we are the state's leading advocate for Second Amendment rights. We are not a gun group. We're a liberty group. We just realize it may take guns to maintain that liberty, and the Second Amendment is how that has transpired. All right. We're probably going to be winding this down, but that's the update for this week. Anything else I'm missing, Kendall? Go to ok2a.org and join a membership and get involved with us.
Watch out for a special announcement.
Yes, watch for special announcement. Facebook, we may be trying to take it Facebook Live tomorrow. It just depends how the whole situation works during the committee meeting with constitutional carry. But I want you there if you can be there. I mean, beg, borrow, steal, get there. And Bev, leave your gun in the car. I hate to do that too, but leave your gun in the car. But at least you can bring your little pocket knife in. Anything else on that? We will be...
Melinda Barker says, thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Belinda. I appreciate it. Those that means a lot because there's a lot going on. In fact, I can let Kendall tell you. He was on the phone with me on Saturday. Believe it or not, Saturday I spent 9 or 10 hours on OK2A stuff and literally did not leave the house. I rewrote and edited bills. One of them was the constitutional carry bill. One of them was the bill for lowering the SDA fees. These bills are over 35 pages long. It's very complicated how one can interact with one other portion of law, and how it's important to make sure that we've got all of our bases covered to eliminate all the arguments, or try to. They'll come up with arguments. That's what they do. So anyway, but I hope, is Belinda, are you going to be at the meeting tomorrow? Public safety meeting, 3 o'clock? Is she going to make it? Come on, Belinda, don't leave me hanging by myself there.
Yep.
But anyway.
Yep. Several other people are saying thank you for the hard work you do.
Cool. Thank you. How many plan on attending tomorrow? How many? Someone give some ideas. Because I know this goes out in different times here because people watch the replay on it and stuff too. But like I say, get up there, folks. It's your rights. You want them? They're not going to happen to you sitting at home on the couch unless it's a cold night like tonight, which is okay. So anyway,
Mr. James Miller says, Don, you are a boss.
A what?
Boss. B-O-S-S.
Oh, boss. Okay. I'm going to assume that's a compliment, James. I just assume it is. I mean, I know Rogers County may have a different language than Logan County, but that sounds like it's a compliment. I'm going to take it like that, so I appreciate it, dude. And no, I'm not a ventriloquist. I'm not going to speak while I'm drinking water. Sorry. That about do it?
Looking here. Yeah, we have, I saw, I can't find it now, but the earlier post was asking about how many members we currently have, which is shown on the 2 pages. But
how many's in the group, the discussion group?
So it just clicked over 5,000.
We just clicked over 5,000, and a year ago it was what, under 2,000?
Yeah, it was at 2,000.
Yeah, and we did 1,000 people over the weekend jumped on. Folks, that's how it works. You got to get your friends involved, and they don't have to be that much involved. Just get involved. Also, if you're get your friends to go to our Second Amendment page, which is what you're watching on right now. Have them like it and follow it so they can keep up with what's going on, just like this stuff right now. But like I say, folks, I'm in a bunker in southeast Logan County. You know, so we're getting the word out from there. So I'm pretty thrilled about this is working this well. All right. Any other questions out there? Oh, by the way, Gary Jones was scheduled to speak tonight, but he didn't want to come to my house. That was a joke. So we're going to try to reschedule him since he's a candidate for governor. I've known Gary for a few years. He's the state auditor at this time, which is pretty impressive. He's also been the Republican chair for the state. And I think he was a county commissioner too, I think. So other than that, we're going to try to reschedule him. Also, we're going to have Dan Fisher, Mr. Stitt, and also Lieutenant Governor try to speak also at some point before the election in June. So we'll try to keep you up to date. We've also got another special election going next month. We will keep you informed on who we've endorsed. In fact, I've already made the endorsement, and I apologize. I forget who it was. So we'll get back with you on that. The election's not until next month. So any other questions before we cut out of here?
Yes.
Because I have to commute all the way back to my lazy boy tonight. So it's a really long commute for me. So
once again, invite your friends. Bring the numbers.
Invite your friends. We will see you soon. And you'll be hearing from us as soon as tomorrow. I'll talk to you later. You guys have a good evening, all right?